Let's go. I was born to kill it. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flames. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die trying, want me switch lanes. I'm always getting better, I'ma be on 5th place. On this one, then 4 for the next. 3rd, 2nd, 1st, you pour with the best. She showing love, give me all the raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, knock, let me in. Huff and puff and blow the house down.
There we go. Well, it's an exciting day. We are here with Eustace Moore from MIP. He's at MIP headquarters today. So we're going to take a little tour. And we got my good buddy and special guest, Mike Kirby of Team K and K and RC Pickers and whatever else Mike Kirby has going on. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We are excited. Eustace, just so you know, our first sit down still holds the record for most views, just so you know, that we've had on all these live casts. That's how much they love you, man.
Well,
that's how much they love you. Yeah. So
everyone inspires me. That's why I do what I do. I mean, there's still people knocking on the door, still people wanting what I do, interested in what I do and what we do here at MIP as a company and a brand. So, yeah, it motivates me and keeps me going.
Well, I can't tell you how excited we are to be sitting down with you again. Man, when I first posted this link that this was happening, people were going crazy because you know what they want, Eustace.
No, I don't.
It would be easy if we knew what they wanted, right? So I'm getting us posted on some groups here, spreading the word. So anything you want to start out talking about, Mike or Eustace, while I do this?
Well, I'm building a car right now as we're sitting here talking in the live cast and all that good stuff. This is one of my cars for next weekend's race.
You got some work to do, Mayor, buddy.
Okay.
We've got 5 more cars to build between now and when we leave Thursday morning.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I only have one, but we're constructing it out of things that either don't exist or that partially exist. So we're making it happen. It's coming along.
You know, you say that this particular car that I'm working on is a little bit special. We may have went above and beyond, pushed the envelope a little bit, but this is a Manta Ray, just a Tamiya car, plastic chassis, very simple. So me being me, I said, hey, I don't like that front bumper, so we made new front bumpers out of rubber. And me being me said, hey, I don't like that front shock tower. It flexes too much. So we got new 4mm carbon front towers.
Jeez.
And you can't have front towers without rear towers.
Yeah. You gotta have a balance.
So, you know, and then they have this big, I mean, here, to give you an idea, here's the front bumper right here that we're replacing. Yeah. And then they have this big chassis plate right here that's kind of gaudy and ugly. And so I made carbon fiber chassis plates out of 2mm. And then it's got this little custom piece that goes on top of it. So you got the side body mounts. And
yeah, nice.
Yeah. So not only are we building a car from a kit, but we're also adding a bunch of parts that we've never, if it works, I'm going to probably make some of these carbon parts for the other guys. And so that the guys that want to run these cars, they're durable because it's affordable. These little front bumpers, though, these are killer. I worked with a designer out in California, actually, that did all the design work for me. And
are those 3D molded in a elastomer or something? Or
these are 3D printed in some type of rubber. They're flexible.
Oh, 3D printed for they're probably
Yeah.
some kind of vinyl or something like that.
I'm not the engineer. I said, hey, I want to make these, and he made it happen.
Yeah, good.
But I'm super stoked to get them together because this RC Pickers plastic class, I wanted to sponsor it because to me is where I started. With the Monster Beetle back, gosh, 86.
Yeah.
And I've always had that little love for Tamiya stuff. So, of course, we sponsored it, and then I've got my brush motor obsession, you might as well say. So not only did we do that, but I handled all the brush motors. We worked with Holmes Hobbies, and now they're all stickered up, and they look pretty slick too. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
How far are you along on your car?
80%, maybe 90.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's the assembly that's going to take some time. Routing the wires, routing the linkages, just getting everything tweaked and adjusted, the ride height right, the droop right, the camber caster toe, just getting everything right, the right slip angles on the steering, just getting it right, getting the bump steer out. So it's going to take a little bit, but that's what I do.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh. You asked me a question when we first started, and I did want to answer, and I did want to say thank you. And I definitely do appreciate this opportunity to represent MIP and myself. And it's exciting to still be part of things after all this time.
You know what?
Thank you.
It is, Eustace, and we, I know I've told you this, and Mike knows this, but I had my top 3 list, and you were on it of people I wanted to come, and it's because when I think back and the way you treated me as a kid and the things you did for me, and not only that, but the things you have done for RC in general. I mean, you are truly one of the original innovators, and still one of the innovators that everybody loves in the industry, and we appreciate it.
Thanks.
When you told me yes you were coming, man, I went out and skipped across the city, just so you know. So we're excited. I know the comments are like just blowing up already, but it's more of like hello right now and all that. And we wanted to do this, and then you and I talked, and you wanted to discuss a few things with the vintage community, about the 410 Legends. And so here we are. And we're going to do this regardless because you wanted to do something live from MIP and show people around, the shop. What do you call it? Do you call it a headquarters?
It's a factory.
You call it a factory. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, we're one of the few companies in the industry that actually produces, in the high 90-something% of what they create. And it's been that way since the beginning, all the way back in 1978. I started with all the equipment I needed to manufacture and produce what I conceived, and learn how to work with outside processors for heat treat and plating and grinding and just different things like that, and just kind of learning everything as I went along. I was still in school when I opened up the shop.
Yeah, we talked about that. You were still a young man.
Yeah.
Still a young man. So Michael Aiello said, making sure the cable 4x4 is just right for the race. LOL.
Yeah. In its day, the cable was truly innovative, as long as the marshals didn't grab it and pull it out.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Right.
I started running truck bodies because we ran truck bodies. Then it was concealed, so it wasn't an issue. But as a buggy, it was a little difficult if you flipped or if you needed a marshal. So
right. Yeah, I can see that happening actually.
Yeah.
Somebody yanking the cable out. Mike, do you have a cable drive car?
I do not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out my volume. It got quiet real quick, and I don't know why.
There's not many out there because Amberly texted me and said Mike needs to quit talking so much. I don't know what that meant.
No, I'm trying to figure out the volume got super quiet.
All right, here's a question that I think that is all over the internet. all over the social media, Eustace. So I think this is kind of a good segue to talk about what you wanted to talk about. Do you see it on there or no?
Barely.
Okay. Please don't discontinue the 410 release because of associated electrics.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that at all?
It was an intense conversation around here, and definitely after we had spent so much time and effort with the project, both from where we started with it late or middle of last year, actually communicating with AE about acquiring their solid models so that we could construct something from the actual dimensions, so we can write really neat instructions, just put something together that would be really cool. But they weren't interested. Unfortunately, it took several months to hear from them, so that put us back. So when we finally got working on it, because we have the capability to do everything, but if we can partner with somebody to seemingly save time or just to have that collaboration,
right?
I think the people that the customers out there, they kind of appreciate all of us, getting along and working together. So, we made the attempt, it didn't work out. So then we started forward with the project, and we spent, a month and a half, whatever, on some of the design concept and just working on it along with all the marketing, everything we wanted to do before we pulled the trigger and actually start producing product. So, once we heard, it was just disappointing. That's all. They obviously they have the prerogative to do what they chose. We didn't see it coming, mainly because what people have been asking for is what we did specifically, because there's been dozens of people and companies over the last 30-something years that have done something on their own. And even with that, people are still asking for what we did.
Right.
So it didn't process very well initially, but after we thought about it, said, you know what? There are two categories here. There's what they're doing, and there's what we're doing, and that's the end of it.
Hey, Dirk.
Yes.
Real quick, just make sure it's not just my phone. Can everybody hear us okay? Because on my phone it's super quiet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're saying good. Yeah.
Okay.
Seems to be fine. I don't understand why, Mike. Maybe is it the way you have your phone turned right now? Is it leaning against something where the microphone is? Maybe.
No.
Okay.
Let's see.
I can hear you fine. I can hear Eustace fine.
Yeah. I just can't hear you guys at all.
At all?
I mean, I'm deaf in one ear and can't hear out the other. So it was working real good till my phone called. So it's all good. I'll just have to listen up real careful. Eustace, just so you know, the other car, thanks to Adam Rails, is completely done. It's all built. It's ready for the receiver to go in it. And I forgot to send him the receiver, so I've got the receiver.
Good.
But while I have you on here and I wanted to show you something, you and I talked earlier this week and shared some pictures back and forth. And Dirk may know about this, but I just need to make sure we have your approval.
Oh, that's sweet. Wow. Are those decals?
Look, that's said nice. You wanted all the guys on the front.
That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you.
That is your B3 body for the race.
Wow, thank you. Whoa. Very cool.
So we got it, the white and the yellow like you asked, with the black on the back. Added a little touch of green like we discussed over the phone.
Yep.
And it should look plenty fast going around the track.
I think so. That's going to help, because I'm not always the fastest, but I definitely will be giving it 100% for sure.
I was honored to be able to sling the paint on that thing. I was pretty excited to be out here painting it up, and we got the graphics from 920 Designs.
Wow.
The only thing I don't have right now, and they're in the mail right now, is I have your name to go on the side of it, in the neon yellow and the white and black. So,
Wow,
Sweet.
you should be dialed.
Yeah, we don't have we don't do stickers here or decals, so we weren't really focused on much of the visual or aesthetics of the car, other than just getting a really nice paint scheme on it and just the decals that we're more, familiar with and that we have in stock for what we do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I may catch up with you maybe tomorrow if you have somebody that does custom ones, about getting some done real quick. I think I think I'm meeting with another guy tomorrow that may have that capability, just to give it that little bit extra cool factor. That's all.
Yeah. If you need decals too, we may have some. Like, I know Mike's got a bunch. I've got a box, but there are several people out there that do good decals. So
yeah. So I'm sure when I get there, by the time we get done stickering things up, it'll be basically a decal body.
Hey, Dirk,
a body made of decals.
If I bump out, can I bump right back in?
Yeah,
Dirk?
yeah. Try it.
I'm gonna leave just for a second.
Okay. All right, Eustace. So we were talking a little bit about the question about the 410, and you were kind of talking about the project, and and I know you and I have had some talks on the phone, but I don't want to go into all that unless you want to go into it. But
maybe a little bit of it. We'll see where it goes.
Kind of where are we? Are we moving forward? Still trying to figure things out?
We are in production on the prototype.
Okay.
Yeah, we're actually producing the prototype. We had to accelerate. We got pushed back, so now we're just moving forward as quickly as we can. So there'll be one running vehicle, which I'm going to be bringing to the event, with maybe awesome. A couple of spare parts.
Okay.
And after the event, I'd say June-ish, we should be able to release it as a finished kit.
Okay.
And we're estimating that we're just going to do a limited run of probably like 500. And hopefully that will work out well for us, under the circumstances.
Yeah, I agree. And, like I told you, if I can help with any pre-sales or whatever you need to do, and, and that may be the way to do it, And I know the group is interested in that. So the community.
Yeah. When the release goes out, we'll do a press release, and it will be very specific on what our plan is and what we're doing, and, just how things are going to go down.
All right.
But, we'll have it, I guess, all solidified by the time I get there. So I'll be able to share some information that's, current, and we'll give everybody an idea of, what's going on.
That is amazing.
We weren't really trying to be secretive. It's just that there really wasn't anything to say. And because we're developing, we're not making a whole new car. We're remaking the car, or the parts, as close to what they were when we finished the project. So it has a couple of upgrades from the original 410 Legend box kit, but it's just minor, and everyone will see that once I'm there, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, good.
Our goal is to produce something that everyone wants and that people have been waiting for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I gotta find me trying to figure out if I got an RC10 sitting around here to put one on. I used to have, it'd be amazing, because everybody, they drool over that, the red chassis one that was your original. You still have that car sitting there, don't you?
We still have that car. It was specifically done for the, for the ad. I mean, the batteries, everything are still in. Of course, the batteries probably should be handed over to somebody for hazardous waste, but they're still in it.
All right, Mike is back with us. You hear any better now, Mike?
I can hear perfect. That's all I want to do is back out and back right back in.
Yeah. I don't understand why.
Eustace,
awesome.
Back to the decal thing you were asking about. I've got complete sheets of MIPs and your names, and the names on these were messed up. They were cut wrong. So 920 sent me some more.
Right.
But yeah.
Well,
so we got to.
I'll catch up with you as soon as I get there and start working on it. And then I know, Dirk, we talked about the wheels. I only needed one set of wheels, maybe two set of the wheels, those 1/4 by 2.2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you one set of rears.
I have tires, and if I don't have, I'll just purchase some more. So we'll be good.
I got you one set put to the side, Eustace, And I think that Eddie's just got a bunch more sent to the shop from JC Racing.
Yeah. How is the track rough on tires?
It's not rough on tires. It just it's got a lot of grip, right?
Okay.
So
Do you have to use
you should be able to run.
Do you have to sauce them? Or are you allowed to sauce? Or what's
Yeah,
that deal?
yeah, definitely allowed to sauce.
Okay.
It's definitely a track you want to sauce with. Here's the deal. I'll normally run my tires for 2 to 3 races, right? It's just going to depend. I know he's working on the track layout now, and he's going to present something spectacular to us. And but I'm gonna be honest. You've been to races, Eustace. I've seen people when I went to the North Carolina race, the vintage race. You had Frank Denny, which was changing his tires like every round. I saw him back there just spinning them and making his own tires, trying to get the compound right. But that track's a little different than Hoosier. Hoosier is a J Concept silver track. And if you have silvers and, typically like I glued the sidewall. First time I ever glued sidewalls in my life, I glued the sidewalls on the front of Jay Halsey's car. And just the fronts, because I normally run the hard inserts. So we'll figure out the game. If you got silvers or if you don't, you let me know.
Silvers. Yeah. You'll be fine. Getting the car balanced and dialed in.
Oh yeah.
That's what I do. So that's the least of what I'm concerned about. I'm just wondering in general, what are the conditions like?
One of the wheels you're needing, Eustace, because I've got a bunch of original AE stuff.
2.2
but they don't fit nobody has a slick that fits that 2.0 wheel.
Yeah. And Runo and I talked about that. And I don't think that will ever happen.
No, there's no reason for it. Yeah. No one's going to make a really high sidewall slick tire just for that. That's a huge investment. It's not necessary. It just isn't. What everyone else is running today is actually better because it's proven, it's developed, and everything's figured out. So we don't want to have to, go backwards to go forward.
Yeah. What he is doing is he's creating a wheel that will have an insert that can change from quarter axle to 3/16 axle.
Okay. But the offsets are different. I know that.
There are some difference on offsets, yes.
Yeah.
On the two, but there's not with the newer wheels, there's not a big difference in the rear, but there is in the front for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing our own front wheels, so the front, fortunately, isn't a concern. It's just the rear wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to see a big difference between the quarter axle like JC Racing's makes versus the 3/16 axle that J Concepts makes, as far as the offset goes.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. I think I modified the ones I had that are 3/16 for the 2.0 for the RC10. I modified them to work with a 1/4-inch axle. Yeah, they're just kind of Mickey Mouse, just something I did just to get through, through this next few days. But it isn't something that, I want to run in competition per se.
Yeah. What I have learned with the J Concepts wheels, I've done a couple, just with the little sander, for the Dremel, the little kind of a dome shape, and it normally works out perfect. But what I've learned with the J Concepts wheels is they have enough flex that if you slow tighten them over that axle and line it up just right, they'll tighten on there like perfectly.
Yeah, they'll kind of spread a little bit, and the pin will line up with the slots in there, open those up a little bit. I mean, you can get around the track. It's just if you're running anyway, it works. And essentially, that's what I did. I just kind of modified the wheel a little bit, and I didn't modify the pin slots, so it's going to do the job. Yeah. So for all of our initial running, it's definitely going to give us what we need to know.
I actually have this set right here, set aside for you for the rear.
Yep, perfect.
And there should be more at the track, and if not, I can get a hold.
I don't know. Again, that's why I was asking how tough is it on tires, but I'm not worried about it. There'll be tires available there, and I'm sure there'll be wheels available.
Jason's going to be there.
I'll just purchase what I need, so we'll be good.
Yeah, Jason will be there personally too. from J Concept.
And then
so.
once this race is over and I get back, we're going to continue to run the car and develop the setup and develop the concept.
Okay.
So that when we release the final kit, everything is dialed as it can be. The springs that I have, the pistons, just all standard sizes and everything that are available and, in time, it's consistent with what was run back then. But we're just trying to, get it figured out.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I think, it's funny. I'm seeing all these comments come in, and it's like one person said 500 is not enough. James Elliott, does that name ring a bell?
That sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah, first met Eustace.
I'm more good with faces than names.
Yeah. Well, he's got a hot dog as his picture, so. I don't know if you're going to. Yeah, everybody loves a good hot dog. First met Eustace at the early 90s Cactus Classic.
Oh, yeah, San Diego.
SRS. And he couldn't have been nicer to this then kid. After being out of RC for 22 years, I was stoked to see MIP still around and thriving. Plan on buying a 410 Legends kit.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. It's for me. This is, again, we put it off for so long and for so many reasons, and it's the right time.
I want to answer this question. Dave Bowman, are spectators allowed at the Vintage Clash? Here's the deal with spectators. The event is sold out. We sold out almost a month ago.
Yeah.
It's going to be a packed house. We sold, I think, like 15 spectator, like all-inclusive passes.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is just a spectator area. You will not have access to the complete track. You can't get back in with everybody.
Okay.
There will be a small spectator area. And here's the deal, guys. First off, we want the people that are paid participants that are coming and the people that have put all the effort and everything into the race, to be able to enjoy the race. And would I love to have everybody in the world be able to come to this and be able to come in and out? Yes, but it's just not. One, it's not safe. Two, there's very, very expensive cars. There's going to be, we want it to be fun, and we want the people that are there to be able that have paid and participated to be able to enjoy it. Now you can come watch, but there's nowhere to sit. It's going to be kind of standing room only situation, just so y'all know. And something we're just going to have to think about for the future on maybe how, I don't know. It's just, I love the way Hoosier does things. They keep it locked down tight to protect everybody and make it a safe environment. So that's what we're going with. Just so y'all know.
I don't think there's much of a choice there. I mean,
there's
crowd control is important for reasons of security, safety, and also so that the fire department doesn't come there and shut them down.
That's the other big one.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
MIP trailing arms. Oh boy.
That's what I was saying.
I have one of those in our front lobby.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm doing the tour, I'll show a quickie of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes way back.
Yeah.
That was way before the RC10.
I've got one that Mike and I share custody on here.
Mike, what does that say?
Somewhere. What's it say, Mike?
It says trailing arm suspension kit for RC10 IRS-10. It's $35.
Yep. Wow, that's cool. Those were,
and it's still new in the package.
They were amazing back in the day, and it probably would still be good on the track now. But they were more designed for a loamy surface. The high bike surfaces, trailing arms are. That's
bueno.
It's going to be it's just going to be real difficult to get those to track properly and really give you what they're designed for as far as the added forward travel. I'm sorry, forward bite, and because the side bite's going to be there anyway. But wow.
I don't want to tell on myself, Eustace, but I paid $1,200 for one of them kits Mike Kirby just had in his hands.
Wow.
Look at there.
That's cool.
You remember those, right?
One of the original. Oh, yeah.
That's where it started, right?
There, baby.
Onesies and twosies of everything that we did.
Yeah.
You know, just are most of the things that we did.
Here's
Even
one
when
with
I was back in Los Angeles when I first started, so that would have been in 80, 79, 80, 81 too. Yeah.
here's one with the hot trick conversion on it.
Oh, I remember Hot Trick. Yep.
Yeah, and then this is probably one of my favorite transmissions and one of the hardest ones
the
to
low
get.
seat.
Oh yeah.
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 And we did those in yellow at the time because people weren't really jazzing up the cars. The cars just needed something just to give them a little bit more depth. Otherwise, they were just kind of plain. So we decided to do it in yellow, so it just really just stuck out, and it was pretty popular for a while there. And like with most things that we do, the manufacturers figure out their way to do the next version of what's going forward. So, but it's all good. I think it's been a wonderful ride, and we're still hanging on. So,
yes, sir. Jason Santos wants us to start over. Y'all want to start over?
Wait. Start over with the company. What? Start over?
No.
With
the video.
No, just the video. I mean, that would kind of be cool.
Just all the information on exactly what's going to be happening the next week or so, and how it's going to go down. And if you didn't hear it, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, you just got to wait, right? Jason there.
People will be able to watch this again afterwards, right?
100%.
Oh yeah, so we're going to be good. You'll be good.
Yeah. So Jason Santos, Jason. We've talked about Jason. He is the founder of RC10 Talk. We call him the legend. Here's a big one. I think everyone kind of Clash should be allowed first option on pre-orders for the 410.
Oh God.
Limited to one per person.
We actually talked about that.
Yeah.
And, again, we're not going to be at the point where we're ready to finalize what we're doing. So we won't have pricing, final assembly and everything. I think we're going to be really close, but I really like with most projects we do as usually on most of the things I've worked on, they've been in secret when I'm in-house. Once we go out and we start working on, the setup and actually developing this concept at the track, then more people start to see it. And we're actually listening to what people are saying. What do you see? How does it look? Is it giving you what you think it's going to give you? What would make this better? So, we've always listened and, let people be part of what we're doing as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
I guess we can answer this one. Would that be a cable? Oh, Michael, you type like I do. Would that be a cable, chain, or belt car?
Yes, belt.
Belt. So the Legends 410 was the belt car.
Yeah.
The
there
cable
were several.
Was number one.
We released several versions of the 4-wheel drive conversion, from the one that had the MIP tranny, which was chain drive, all the way up to the belt variation. There was never a cable variation that we released. I think we did the cable. They were more for the Tamiya based cars.
Right. Oh my goodness, what word am I working for? The Tamiya.
Yeah.
SRBs.
SRB. Thank you, Mike.
My question, Eustace, is: are the ones when you release? Are they going to be serial numbered, or are they just going to be random?
That hasn't been decided on yet. Whether they're going to be signed, initialed, if there's going to be a certain portion of them that are going to be done that way, that are going to be set aside as for collectors, specifically box, because even the box is going to be done a specific way. We've been talking about that.
Right.
So we've kind of been just kind of putting it all together. Right now, the focus, there's probably, there's only 7 or 8 of us. Or how many people are here now? 10, maybe 9 or 10 people. So out of that, probably 4 are working on it all day long on this part or that part or this or that or this or that. So
okay. Yeah. So still in the works then.
Yeah. But my ears are open, and again, we definitely want to do something that is going to give people what they've been waiting for all this time.
Woo! Eustace, I wish I had the hero song I could play right now. I can sing if you want, but people might get off the channel.
Don't.
Don't.
We don't want the FCC calling us or calling you.
Yeah. Wow. It's wow. I've never seen this many comments. It's kind of hard to keep up. On a, all right, let me see what this says. This is our boy Drew. You know, and I normally, you know, one of the things I start out by doing is thanking our founding fathers, which is Mike Kirby, Drew Boyd, Eddie Henley, and myself. You know, that all come together on bringing, you know, Mike Kirby and I's vision that we had probably a little over 9 years ago, right, Kirby? When we first started talking.
Well, we talked about it back when I had my courses over there at the farm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Drew.
So I want to thank them, and I also want to thank, you know, our you know, we had a lot of sponsors step up for this. So we have J Concepts, which is our title sponsor. MIP and Eustace, of course. Thank you guys for all you're doing. I don't want to kind of ruin the secret of what y'all are doing because we want that to kind of be a surprise when people get there. But thank you, Eustace, for your participation in this race.
Cool.
My good buddy Heath Mescal and Cal RC. I absolutely have a love affair with their product and their stuff. It is just amazing. And then, of course, Team Associated, you know, is a platinum as well, and they're bringing some of the guys from back in the day. So it's, you know, when it was all said and done, this race is meant to be a reunion and bring, you know, the greats together from the 80s and 90s. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, a lot of people said, you know, we couldn't pull it off, but here we are. So I'm excited. Today, Eustace, is the 1 week eve for the race.
Yeah, I think I'm flying out Thursday morning.
Okay.
And I'll be getting there about 4 or 5. So I'll probably be at the track, hopefully before 7. And I'm sure there'll be something going on even that late, even though they might be somewhat shut down.
Well, there's something
early
very
Friday
special
morning, I'll
going on that night.
To do what I got to do. What?
Eustace, there's something very special going on that night, by the way, for the legends.
Okay.
Yeah, I will text you again. All
right.
We got something big planned for y'all.
If I'm getting in that late, am I going to be okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you'll get there. We'll have to.
Because I may have to bribe the pilot if he's an RC guy. Make some promises.
All right. So here, I want to read a message from Drew. He said, "On a flight south, but thank you to MIP for everything. Look forward to meeting Eustace next week, and his B2 is looking legit. Hope he can hang on to it. Tell him Angie hooked him up with the 2 spots by driver stand so he can be elbows up all weekend as he wanted. Kirby's haircut looks good too. Enjoy the chat."
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You get a haircut, Kirby?
Drew was making fun of me last night. We were FaceTiming.
Yeah.
I look like a shaggy dog.
This is definitely the first. Yeah, this is going to be the first big race I've been to in probably 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, to this scale. I mean, there's a few local races we go that are 2 or 3, 2-day events that are local, but I've specifically gone only to, you know, those events maybe once or twice. But at this one, I'm just going to be focused on racing, you know, we're not bringing product. We're not going to be there, you know, promoting, you know, what we do every day, all day long. It's just very narrow to specific. So there's somebody who I love very much and very, very dear to my heart. And by the way, Pierre, I know I promised you a car. I'm still working on it. Pierre worked for me. She's my cousin. She worked for me when I first started the company. That would have been probably 76, 77.
Wow.
You know, in there somewhere. We were in high school. And so I promised her many, many years ago, oh, yeah, I'm going to get your car. But I'm still working on it.
That's so awesome. What a cool story.
Yeah.
You remember this guy?
Looks familiar.
Michael James Ellis, the painter, Skull Racing.
Wow.
You know what he told me? He said he's going to squash your head at the race.
That's not very nice.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that from the day.
Yeah, the Skull Racing. Oh, it's a Skull Fun Racing. There's some video clips out there.
Years ago.
So, you know, this race is going to be broadcasted all over the world too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have mod video there. Yeah. So I can't wait to, you know, one of the things I'm looking forward to, Michael Ellis kind of told us at the last minute he was coming, and I'm so excited to have him there. I can't wait to see some of the shenanigans from the old school racing days, live for the world to see. Well, at least most of it. So, let's see here. What about that name? You remember that name?
Oh, yeah, Bob. Oh my God. Bob and I have been chatting for decades now. And even though we haven't seen each other in forever, since that show in I think it was down in Anaheim or something. We saw each other at a show. That was the last time. That was forever ago.
Wow.
So yeah, cool.
Bob's gonna be there.
All right, right on, man.
Yeah. How funny. Oh my goodness, what craziness. Yeah, Michael said, I'm coming for you, Eustace.
Oh boy.
All right, you want to do a tour?
Yeah,
You
sure.
ready for it? Man, I've been waiting on this. I'm gonna come out and see you, Eustace, because I want a live tour.
Yeah, well, I guess it's somewhat interesting. I mean, like, okay, let me see. I got to reverse the camera.
Yeah.
And so give me a second here to press some buttons. And
Ellis calling out. There we go. Nice filing cabinet.
Yeah. Oh, this is my digs. My little office I got here.
Yeah.
My desk. See, I've been working really hard here. Got my own shower. A lot of times during the day, I have like workout classes. So I go to those in the morning, come to work, get cleaned up, and I'm ready to go. So this is my work area right outside my office where we've been working on. It's real tiny, as you notice. Real tiny stuff that we've been working on. So there's the chassis and got the little front tranny going right now to get the tower done. And actually reviewing the old instructions that we did for the setup, just to make sure that we're staying consistent with what we did a long time ago.
That is awesome.
So we've got some of the wheels made. Got all 4 wheels and tires are ready to go. The ones I modified, the wheels that we're doing, which is there's one there. Yeah. So we're getting there. Got my bodies painted. There's an old body. I think I'm going to use that to practice with, and then I'll put on the new one.
You got one painted up?
Yeah, I got one painted up. Looks pretty good. So this is MIP. We're about 9,000 square foot.
Okay.
And awkward enough, probably about 25%, almost 30% of the building is office. And there's only 1 or 2 of us in the office as any time. I mean, everybody's either in packaging or shipping or manufacturing. So things have changed a lot over the years. We don't have a lot of staff to just, operate and run things from an administrative level, just a few. So yeah, here's our cabinet. Got one of the Pro 4s in here. A lot of other goodies from old stuff that we've made in the past. Yeah, I got my old computer in here.
Oh, how crazy.
Oh yeah, that's the one I started with back in the day.
Is it really?
There, my cable drive. Where is that cable drive? It's in there somewhere. It's one of those vehicles.
Okay.
There's my gas truck that I used to run. Yep. So just say my on-road days. Up there it is. There's the Tamiya down there on the floor with the cable drive. But I don't know why we would call them Tamiya cars, because in those days the guys had modified them. They changed the wheels, the tires, the transmission, the chassis. There wasn't much Tamiya left other than I don't know. We put the cages on them back then. Yeah. So Brandon's not here, but there's his office.
Oh, Brandon. There's all the goodies coming to the race.
No. That's just other stuff. So here in manufacturing, now I'm going to leave it. I don't know if you can tell that it's dark in here, but it's dark because basically we run lights out. So our quality department's over here. And this is our older equipment that we started with probably about 20 years ago for all our automated equipment that we use for lights out manufacturing. So it's not running now, but we're setting it up for some new jobs. We have another office there for this office manager. We're going to go in the back machine shop last because it's pretty cool. We have our own little separate machine shop. There's all the material and everything just for prototyping and for development, which is separate from our production area. So our production area, we got our grinders over here. We got assembly over here. And then we have all of our machining centers over here. They have all of our Swiss machines on this side. So there should be something in here running. And we're going to go this way, then we'll tag around the other side, check out the mill.
So y'all out,
Yeah.
y'all let
So we
stuff
can
run
do
all night.
fairly large parts because we do manufacture some parts for my son's company, Be More Bikes, and he manufactures these really, really, really cool stems for the assembly on the front of the bike, for the steering assembly, that changes the concept and the geometry to something that is better. You know, just changes the whole concept of it. Anyway, so here's one machine. This machine will run all night, just its own thing, making little tiny parts.
Wow.
I think we're working on bones.
Bones, okay.
Yeah.
You know, the bone question has come up. Are y'all still making them for RC10 or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now the ones that we did for the RC10 and the RC10T,
yeah,
those are available from AMA.
Okay.
They basically decided to finish up the last run of those, so they're going to be responsible for getting those out to the world, and they'll be available through them. So we work to do with them.
Okay.
So we got some other little tiny parts here. What are those? They look like spindles. So this is our full-size mill. It's a 5-axis mill. A huge monster of a machine, but it comes in handy for making little teeny tiny parts. Yeah, and also for making some of the larger parts. So we're going to go in the machine shop now. That is. So when I'm here and I'm working on stuff, that's usually where I'm spending my time. I'm either in my office or not so much in production, because that's just a little bit different environment when I want to make one of something or two of something, or I just want to work on something or develop. Oftentimes we will use the production area to develop something, but that's just so that when we go into production, we're that much closer to the concept. But when we're starting with things that never existed before, oftentimes we're in here. So this is our little machine shop. And it's set up. It's got a full-size mill. We got our CNC 2-axis lathe, got a tool room mill, and we got a little tiny 3-axis with an indexer CNC mill. So we use that for just whatever we want to do. And then these parts over here, these are some of Bronson's parts. Bronson's my son, Be More Bikes, and he makes these stems that are for the steering assembly on the bike, and they're actually produced here. He designed them, and we make them here, and he comes in and does all the production on them and everything. So he's actually one of our employees, but he just focuses on his stuff rather than our stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's MIP.
Is that like for off-road style bikes? Or?
Downhill mountain bikes, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely check it out. Be More, M-O-R-E, BeMoreBikes.com.
BeMoreBikes.com.
Bronson is a real cool dude. He's like about 26 now.
I wonder if he knows Dave.
My daughter,
Dave
she lives
Wingle.
in Atlanta. What else is happening around here? Oh, we'll go through there and go the other way. Okay. So we're going to slip through here. So our quality department is through this door. There are actual people that work here, but they work here during the day. This is our quality department. So we do all of our inspections. So all the goodies come through here before they actually end up either in packaging, or if there's any other processes before they end up back in manufacturing, if they need to have something done there.
How many employees work out in the shop there?
Packaging. Excuse me?
How many people are actually working out in the shop when they're actually out in the shop working?
Like 3 guys.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of people the way we're set up. When I first opened the building, we had about 30 employees. That was 25 years ago. And when we decided to automate, I made the decision to, keep the people that were the most interested. But it was interesting because, out of the, 10 or 15 or whatever we had, there was only a couple that were really interested. So, but it worked out. And I think there's still about 2 or 3 people that have been with us for more than 20 years. Yeah. So anyway, this is all the shipping part. So when all the goodies get done, they end up in these bins and they end up going in boxes and out the door.
So y'all still do your own packaging, the whole.
We do everything.
Shipping.
Everything. Yep. Everything.
That's awesome.
Which, when other companies come to us to do something for them, that's why, because we can design it, develop it, test it, prototype it, we can just do all of it. And we do offer that as a service to many companies around the world that we still produce products for, from, probably from last 20 or 30 years. Yeah. But we primarily focus on our products. And like Bronson, he's one of our OEM customers. are commercial customers where we're producing something that's not RC. And then there's another company that we produce products for that does things for motorcycles, actually. But again, just little tiny parts, not big assemblies or anything like that. And then a few days, one of these is going to be packed up and I'll be on the road.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Man, I can't believe it's like literally
quick
around the
little
corner.
tour. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this without losing you guys. And done.
So many great comments while you've been walking around.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know what this one means. Maury Dora Vertical. Is that a machine you
Yeah,
have?
that's the machine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mark 140 said he's got one.
Right on, Mark. Yeah.
Morton Max. You may remember Morton. He's been around for a long time around the business community. I'm in love with your machine shop.
Thank you.
Beautiful machine parts. And then we got Robert here that's evidently late to the party. Enough about all that. LOL. Are you going to reproduce the full wheel? Yeah, you're late. Robert, you had to go back and watch the video.
You have to watch the tape.
You had to hit rewind.
So I got a question about tools and stuff. Now, like on the handles of the tools, for example, are you guys machining all these as well?
No, we have a vendor that produces the actual, even from the beginning, there's companies on the outside that produce the handles to our spec. They do complete, and then we buy them, and then we do the final assembly here. But they're all assembled by hand. The inserts are pressed in, the blanks are pressed in the inserts. Now there's rings on, the rings are pressed, and then they're pressed into the handle one at a time. That's the way we've done it. We don't plan on ever changing that.
Wow, that's awesome. I love the tools.
And that's all the variations of the tools that we do, whether it's the large ones, the smaller ones, the speed tips, they're all the same. Yeah, now we have ones.
I don't have a speed tip. Does it have a ratchet?
No, it doesn't. No, it does. Just
there you go.
Change.
No, I've got those.
The speed tip handle.
Oh, the handle.
We've had people ask for the ratchet. I think one day, as time goes on, we're up to like maybe 40 tools right now, maybe 41 or something like that.
Wow.
I think over the next few years, there'll be more tools. There's a lot of things we still haven't done yet. But because we produce everything here, we have to limit what we can do so that we're able to actually get things out the door. And I think right now, with the amount of tools that we have, we don't have plans to produce any new tools this year. We want to focus on some drive projects that are brand new that the world has not seen before, that we're going to be debuting those at the show in Pomona. And we want to focus on this 410 project, getting it done. We're not a big company. We're a smaller, older company that we just stay focused. Like there's a whole lot of things we can do, but we focus on where we think we can give the most value and bang to people, to the people that support us.
Yeah. You remember Travis, right?
Yep. MSQA. Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
He said, still need the tuning screwdriver.
Dude, come on. Okay. So the speed handle that we do now, the quick change handle.
Yeah.
That we literally had that on the drawing board. It's probably been 20 years. The bags that we now released, those have been on the drawing board for like 15 years. The 410 project has been on the drawing board, to redo that probably a good 20 years. So it does take us a little while to get to things.
Yeah.
What year did you actually start? What year did you actually start? And what
I actually pulled the business license in 1978.
Okay.
But I was actually working on some drawings and designs and different things, probably because I was in high school. I graduated in 78. So I was probably working on just stuff for myself and just fooling around with things, probably, 76, of course. I had machine shop in high school, and I absolutely, I just fell in love with it. And it was just one of those things that was, just one of the talents, I guess, that I have. So it was probably a 6-month class, whatever classes were at that time. Within a couple of weeks, I'd finished all my projects. So I spent the rest of the time just making stuff for myself. And my teacher was just thrilled that he actually had a student that enjoyed it and loved it and knew what they were doing. I also had drafting when I was in high school, and a little bit of electronics and things like that. Not enough science and chemistry and biology, all the other kind of stuff, but that things that apply to what I do now, and even some business and economic courses way back then.
So did you start in your garage, or did you actually have a shop, or what was the?
I would say technically, probably I would say I started in the garage, but I was doing stuff for myself. When we actually started producing stuff for other people or other companies, that's when I had a small shop. So I had my little shop down on Washington, which I'm sure a lot of guys, especially they've been around for a while, they remember where we started back then. And it was my shop was probably a little bit bigger than the office that I'm in now. There was the little tiny bathroom, and then there was a one room, and then a smaller room that was kind of a triangle shape. That was actually the office. The rest of it was manufacturing, where I had my little lathe and mill and grinder and all my tools and everything. And then after we were there for about a year or so, we punched the wall out. There was a garage next door. So we moved into the garage, and that was our packaging and shipping room. And in those days, we used to package and ship, and I used to actually take the stuff down to UPS in West LA to drop it off. They didn't come pick anything up.
you always want to hear stories like that. I always, everybody asks when we're talking about K&K, and we're a small company, as you very well know. But we literally started out on a TV tray in our living room. I remember sorting screws with my wife across the kitchen counter and across the stove, and now 13 years later, we've got a warehouse and shipping and all that. And it by no means is it anything like you got, but it's just cool to see where you started to where you finished, or where not even finished, where you're at now, because I mean, the end is so far in sight. You're never going to get there.
Biggest failure, biggest success. Wow, those are good ones.
That's a good question.
We did a.
Sorry, Mike.
No, you're fine.
Let me think. We did a we did some drives for this one car. This was in the 80s. There was a new car that came out. And there was some few local guys that said, this is the hottest thing ever. So we made some drives for it, and we sold 0.
Oh, wow.
I mean, 0. Absolutely just like nothing.
I can promise you, Eustace, that will not happen with the 410 kit.
No, hopefully not. This back then, the way that we measured the market was different.
Right.
That was probably more than, oh my goodness, that was before we were in this building. So that would have been 35 years or more ago. But I won't forget it because it's just a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, dude, I spent all that time developing and making these parts, and you're the only one that wants them? Oh, yeah, thanks. Because the car just flopped. And if you think about it, how many dozens of vehicles, not dozens, probably hundreds of vehicles that have flopped over the years. Ones that were here today, gone tomorrow. Just tons of them. So we stopped riding that train after that. And now we tend to be more focused on what we're doing and why we're doing it. The biggest success, I'm going to say my family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I think Kirby could say the same thing.
My wife is just the most wonderful person. And my kids. So, yeah.
Pierre's still watching.
And my cousin Pierre.
She said, yeah, a little story as a young kid. Eustace was always building and designing cars.
Yeah. Always.
And still is.
You didn't want to leave something at my house that you wanted that I could take apart because you wasn't going to get it back in one piece. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Building this. We actually produced a car kit in the early 80s. It was a 4-wheel drive truck, and we used the wheels and tires from the Cox sand buggy. They were pretty cool back then. The rear tires. We made this little 4-wheel drive simulated truck using the Astroflight speed control system and batteries. But after that, I started just producing. I was making my own 12-scale car, basically. I just went 12 scale. This was gas before it was electric. So, yeah, I've done a lot of stuff over the years. Little tiny carburetors and clutch systems and differentials and just all just everything. Yeah, but I'm not as adventurous in the directions I go in now. I think probably the most extensive we've gotten over these past few years was the performance project that we did. Yeah, the performance pack for the Losi truck. Yeah.
Okay. There's a good question for you.
We could reproduce the SP1, which was the transmission that we did, but that differential technology, other than the gear diff we did for it, which would actually be current today, but the ball diff that we did for it back then, which was an all metal ball diff, all steel hardened or case hardened materials. The way the outdrive was and the clamp assembly, it wouldn't hold up to today's standards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the differential, the transmission was bulletproof.
Oh yeah.
The differential, the transmission was bulletproof, but the differential, we definitely would look similar, but we would definitely do it to current standards. But we do not have any interest in doing that right now. We're focused on this other project.
Yeah. I got one sitting right here.
If I start redoing all the things I've done, I will never make it home.
No, SP1 gear diff right here, Eustace.
Let me see.
Or not gear diff, ball diff.
That's
sorry.
the ball diff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I said gear diff.
We did offer the gear diff for a while, but it didn't take off because in those days, ball diffs were where we were at.
Oh, yeah.
Now gear diffs are much more popular. It was a little tiny planetary ball diff, all machined, all aluminum. Well, it had metal gears, but mostly aluminum and steel. It was really nice. And if we ever do make another little tiny gear diff, we probably would be taking over where we left off with that one and just modernize it. But we don't have plans to do that either, so leave me alone.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find some questions here. There's like probably over 200 comments already.
If you have a way to save those and print them out and send them to us, I'd love to take them and maybe print them and put them on the wall.
Yeah.
Here in my office, I have one of those word pieces of art.
Yeah.
And I have one behind me, and there's one in the hallway out there. And that was made for us by a good friend of mine that worked with me for about a year. She's a business consultant. I like to call her a business psychiatrist because she helped me to focus. And this was probably 10, 15 years ago. I was just burned. So I needed to work with somebody that was going to help me just straighten up and just help me to focus on and how to focus and how to feel differently about what I was doing. And she made a big difference. So she made these really cool I don't even know what to call them. I want to say word salad, but that's not right. They're like a word poster. And she would take the words and statements that people were making in the company as well as things I was saying. And that became, the inspiration for what she did.
Oh,
but it's pretty cool.
I need one of them people in my life.
Yeah, get one.
Mike Kirby doesn't keep me grounded enough anymore.
Yeah.
Man.
It's real easy to go off. When you're working long hours continuously, nearly nonstop, at some point it takes its toll. So I live my life quite a bit differently now than what I did back then.
I need to do the same. So maybe you can be my life coach, Eustace.
One at a time. That's me. I could barely do me, so let me just stick with that.
All right. Chris Bon Air is excited because it's a Rad Night is being re-released to the movie theaters. You remember the Rad movie?
No.
The one about the bicycle rad, Crew Jones.
No.
You have to check it out. It's coming back in the theaters. It was I believe it was a 90s Kirby.
I was never into that. I know the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the very few RC guys that was not a bicycler.
No, I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yeah, you see it.
I know there were some pretty popular BMX movies in the day,
Yeah.
But I wasn't a BMXer.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it had to be.
I
It
used to
had to be the
skateboard,
80s.
but I didn't BMX. Well,
Yeah.
back in my day, they weren't. It wasn't called BMX. So.
So Mr. Boudreaux
Ah,
is going to be there.
all right. Damn. Wow.
Hi, Eustace. I met you at
What's happening? I
1989
know he
at
is.
Breakaway Raceways.
Wow, man.
We're excited to have Gabe coming. He did some great shit in the 90s, man.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What else we got? This is a big question. Good evening, Eustace. It's great to see you again. You look great. I hope I can meet up with you again at one of those vintage races with Ignacio. Yeah. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you again for your sponsorship during my golden age. Your this has helped me a lot to achieve my success in the 1/10 and 1/8 classes. Thank you. Wow. Oh, that's Danny Vega.
I know the name. Unfortunately, on my phone, the face is so tiny I can barely see, but I remember the name. And Ignacio, he from Spain. We'd been in touch with each just minor, but he kept more in touch with Sue over the years. But yeah, we were keeping in touch, and I still see him on Facebook. We see each other that way. But it's been 30 years.
Wow.
Or longer.
All right, I got my screen messed up now. Let's see here. Whoop.
You got me center stage now.
I know. I done messed up. There we go.
All
right. We got yeah.
These questions are pretty cool. I just wish I did this on my computer so I can see things a little better, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
Worlds in Sydney is
wow.
This year?
It's coming to the IFMAR Worlds in Sydney this year. Long time has passed since 1989, Eustace. I think that's
other than like this event and some other local events, just because I got so many other things going on here.
Oh yeah.
I've taken on a little bit different role here in the company and what I do, and just spending time with the family, and just trying to have a little bit more balance in my life, because otherwise, I'd be running like crazy all the time to every event that there is.
Somebody's asking about the SRP market. Here's what I'll tell y'all. I think Eustace is very focused on the 410 Legends right now.
What is the acronym SRP stand for? SRB.
It's the Tamiya Sand Scorcher, the F-150,
right?
The Super Champ, the
okay.
I don't know what SRB is.
The belt drive or the cable
those
drive.
I'm familiar with those vehicles. Yeah.
So
we've had a lot of people. I've had a few people, shall I say, make some recommendations for Tamiya. The Tamiya diff that we do currently for the Tamiya, part number 16210, has been available for the last 6-7 years, and consistently just sells. And it is literally one of the best diff designs we've ever done. I mean, it is just a really, really, really good high quality diff done right. We did another project for the whole shot or something like that. The hot
shot.
Yeah, the hot shot. It didn't go very well at all. But that was our fault for trying to take it too far.
Yeah. So answer your question, David Mitchell. Yes, it's going to be live streamed through Mod Video. There will be a free link. We'll make sure it's posted on Old School and everywhere else we can post it. So yes, that's one reason on the spectators, y'all will definitely be able to watch from home. Just so you know, yes, it will be streamed. Sets of tires. Jason Grimes, what do you say? Run a set of tires and then break in a set of racing and you'll be good. 2 runs on a fresh set of tires is good to break them in.
So
I think he's saying have 2 sets ready.
They're ready to go. They'll last the rest of the weekend, or they broke it and you're done.
He's saying run a set practice is what I meant. So
yeah.
So I called Hoosier today about tires. They say they have hundreds. Yes, plenty of tires will be available. Plenty.
Good.
Any price point on the 410? I think we've answered that already.
No, not exactly, because we haven't concluded exactly what it's going to come with, the materials, the processes, and everything. So that would be a. It would not be fair to everybody to start teasing with a number when when we're not there yet.
Yeah. Daryl, I don't know what this means, but maybe.
Daryl, hey, what's up?
Crenshaw RC sophisticates for life.
Back in the day.
Yeah. All right.
When I started racing RC, okay, so that would have been, what do you think Daryl makes? I want to say like maybe 71. And it was sponsored by a hobby shop back then, which was Carl's Toys and Hobbies in the Crenshaw Shopping Center.
Oh, wow.
And it was basically I honestly want to say minority or black community, but there was a little bit of everybody, but mainly Crenshaw is more of a black community. But there was a mix of other people or people that, that raced there also. But the thing that was cool about it, we'd set up in a parking lot and we would race. The cars were counted by hand. We didn't have stopwatches back then. I think we had a stopwatch.
Wow.
And we had these little clickers for how many laps you did. But we used to do oval racing. We did on-road racing. We raced in different tracks, all over during that time. But it was a pretty big group. As a matter of fact, Daryl, when he got in touch with me last year, maybe a couple of years ago, I sent him a picture of the original group, because I do have a few things still from the day of the original group of people. And there's still guys that I still see, even from then, that most of them race on-road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I go way back with this. Even before MIP, this was just when I got my first RC car, it was a Kirby, and I do have one in my collector stuff, a Kirby original car in the box with the transmitter. But I begged my dad for that car. So I saved up my few little pennies and he gave me a little bit. And I bought one. I was out playing with it in the garage and broke it. So I had to figure out a way to fix it. And I think that's somewhat of what started MIP, because I'd say after that, I was in that garage. This was in the 70s. So I was in that garage usually every day after school doing something.
Wow.
Working with the engines, working with the suspension, working with the car, working with the tires, working with the, painting a body, using a little tiny paintbrush to kind of, maybe stencil in some names or some logos or brands on it. I mean, yeah, that was, I got my homework done quick. And I was in the garage. My neighbors didn't particularly care much for me because they were kind of, the cars back then, they have mufflers. Of course, eventually mine did, but that's a whole nother story. But they kind of, I would get up early in the morning and maybe run it. So it was meow, up and down the street. So I wasn't their best friend for a very long time.
I can imagine. But, Dave, you remember the name Dave Kreider?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, when I was up in Northern California, when Mike and I when Matt and I first started racing again, he and I were talking quite a bit. That was up there at Maine. How you been, man?
He said Eustace, you remember when you gave me an MIP 3-gear diff back during the 1987 Roar Nats in Antioch. You even stayed at my house that week. Keep it going, Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Yes.
Vaguely, but yes. Yeah. When I first started, I was a bachelor. I was a bachelor until I was 20, 28, 29, almost 30. And it was so wonderful being able to stay with, just different people and families all around the world during all that time.
Yeah.
I would get invites and I was gone. I was nonstop, man.
It was wow, and it's still been nonstop. Holy cow, the questions keep rolling in. We could probably do this for like 4 hours, guys. We're approaching 2 though. So I'm gonna try to see if there's a few more questions. Here's another one. Please ask him if he remembers.
I know I'm gonna have to really pace myself because I'm sure at the event there's gonna be a lot of people to talk to.
Oh my goodness! I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm really pacing myself. I paced myself to get today to be able to handle this.
I know we talked a little bit about it last night. I've got to do the same. It's funny. I work around all these students, right? And I have a lot of students that work for me at work, and they get really fatigued, and then they try to cram everything at the last minute. And I'm trying to, I told them sometimes a fresh brain is the best brain, So if you try to jam a bunch of stuff in it to get something done, and then all of a sudden you're like, you can't remember anything, Yeah. So Robert Fulmer asked, please ask him if he remembers Doug Fish Hook from Houston.
I know the name, and I remember the one nationals 90s that I won was for 4-wheel drive was in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see that car on the track again, dude. I'm like, oh, holy cow. There's just so many questions. All right, we're going to have to try to. Oh.
Are you going to go to, not to change the subject, change events, because this is a super great event, but am I going to see you in Kentucky in May as well?
What's happening?
To beat the creek again?
They're going to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, they okay. If I can connect with Lee, we'll probably work something out. Now, yeah, I'd love to be there again. I think now I'm looking forward. That would be great. That was
what is that one, Mike?
Good event.
That's a big, huge crawler event. I mean, just changing.
They're not doing Pro Line by the Fire this year.
Well, then you definitely need to be a beat the creek.
Makes that much of a difference because a group of some of the guys that went to that went to the other one because they're a couple thousand miles away or whatever. But yeah, that was a great race.
It's a big
race. That was a great event.
It's a big, huge event, Dirk. It's the May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's a big crawler event. You've been to my crawler events, Dirk. This is a little bit change of pace. It's a lot of trails. I think last year, I believe it was 2,200 people were there last year.
Yeah, and it was the place is massive. I mean, it's what 10 acres or
no? It's like 100 acres. I think it's 98.
Oh, God.
But
that's a city. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. And I think if I'm thinking for that event, I haven't gotten any information on it. So if someone can send us some info on it, I will send it to either to David at miponline.com or to sales at miponline.com, and we'll get it. I'll take a look at it, see what we can do. But hopefully by then we'll have our new drives that we're doing finished and released by then, because I know we're going to be debuting them at the show in Pomona.
Okay.
It's a totally new concept on center drives or drives in general for crawlers. Something that we've been working on forever.
Yeah.
But that's the way we do it. That's the way we roll. So
it was just on my brain. I wanted to see if you were going to make it or not this year, because it was good talking to you there. And of course, I'm going to see you at this race. I know you're sitting front corner. It goes you, and then Mr. Joel Johnson, and then myself. So if you need something while at the race, all you got to do is holler at me or Gab, and
I'll be good, man. I'm coming light, but I'm gonna be good.
My whole family's going to be there.
Wow.
But what kind of questions you got on there, Dirk? I see.
Favorite
what's your
project?
favorite?
Oh my
God. I love this one. Yeah, it's from our boy Mitchell.
I'm gonna say the favorite would have been probably the bypass when we first started developing that with the Real Shocks project. That was intense. That was some serious science and physics, and we went deep. We literally went to 2 different actual full scale shock companies that did bypass systems to learn as much as we could, and we developed to what people have today, which is our bypass 1. And the bypass 1 that we finally have available that people can buy and have been buying for the last 5 or 6 years is a lesser complicated version than where we started. I mean, we had a completely valved tunable shock that basically ran like one-weight oil. I mean, it was incredible, but it was so complicated to tune. I mean, it was too much. I think maybe in the next 5-10 years, something like that, there might be a place for it, but back then, no. And even now, it's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people just joining Mike asking about MIP 410. They can go back and watch the video. Somebody asked about if there's any. Carlton asked if there's any adapters, rear wheels for associated
Carlton
drive.
Coleman?
Huh?
Carlton Coleman?
Yeah, you know Carlton?
Oh, yeah. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I haven't seen him. Bethesda, Maryland. I haven't seen you in forever. But when I do, or if it's going to be at this event or whatever, man, you're right here all the time. Always.
Oh, that's awesome.
Always.
He's asking about a Carlton. There are ways to adapt your RC10. Do you know if there are any adapter for rear wheel or associated four-wheel drive use current wheels? I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. We're especially now we're focused on the way what we did with the project back then, where the wheels just bolt on. It's pin drive for front and rear. We didn't do a separate front hex hub or rear hub. They just bolt on. The wheels just bolt right on. Just keeping it simple and also something that's very practical and reliable with, just as few parts as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think, unless y'all got everything else, want to wrap it up. Eustace, I can't thank you enough, man. I'm so.
Yeah, we got to do this again. We got to do this again.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, when the car comes out.
Well, once probably
let's do it
like maybe a month or so after.
Yeah.
This event. When is that other event going to be in Vegas or whatever?
Well, we got the Vegas race that's happening second week in October, I believe.
All right, so yeah, it'll be.
Then we also have
after this. Then yeah.
Of course, we also have Eric Reichert, which is kind of the original creator of bringing vintage racing back. He's celebrating his 18th year, I believe, 18th year this year at the Vintage Off-Road Nats. I know he would love to see you. I would love to see you out there as well. It's in Virginia now. So
once I'm there, I'll have an opportunity to really connect with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to make a big difference also, because right now I'm doing everything from this little tiny box.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been out to anything. So we've been doing it from a different vantage point.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am as well, Eustace. I'm excited. So I can't wait to see you there. And thanks again. Mike, you got anything else?
No, thanks for everything you've done, Eustace. Like I said, your other car will be ready there for you. Just travel safe,
yes.
And look forward to hanging out and telling some more stories. I think everybody's going to have a lot of cool cars there.
Wow.
I bet Bob Stormer's bringing a damn semi.
Oh my God.
You. He said he's driving.
Bob, tone it down. Try to keep it toned down. Yeah, he probably has a 10,000-foot warehouse just for stuff.
Yeah,
not for the business, just for stuff. Because he has everything. My God. So
him and Kirby, we're gonna have a battle off at some point in time.
My building is 10,000 square feet.
Right. Yeah.
Old Bob, you gotta love Bob. I finally got the opportunity to talk to him. I've never met him.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun because he's a character.
Okay.
He's got. You ask him for something, he's got it. I'll guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
I always just people email us and say we need this. Just go to Stormer. Just start commenting. Stormer,
He'll have it, right? He probably definitely has it. I don't know how he keeps track of everything.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, man.
All righty, you guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
I appreciate you both very much. And Mike, I look
bye, everybody.
See
you soon.
Week, everybody.
And if not the event or at events, then like I said, we're going to do this again.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Have a blessed night, guys.
Bye.
Farmer F1 two-wheel drive world champion from the United States, Joel Johnson. What car are you using to win the final today? And Kelsey Ultimate.
Our world champion. World Championship, Matt Francis. Greg Hodap in the middle.
We have Brian Dunbar.